Welcome to episode 2 of the Canton Chamber podcast. Business tips of the week, chamber announcements, and an interview with our special guest, Derek from Junkluggers, coming up next.
Hi there, I'm Sean Hetrick, SBS Consulting Systems. The tip of the week this week is we're going to talk about weaknesses. Weaknesses are characteristics that place the business or project at a disadvantage relative to others. It's something you struggle with, internal issues, areas that need improvement. So if you write down a couple of those, jot down a couple, and then what you want to do is you want to come up with ways to overcome them. So it's an easy way to develop small strategies to overcome those weaknesses and really turn them into strengths by the end, because you can go and really come up with ways that you can implement things into your business to improve those strategies. Some of the things that we do is we actually design software to automate processes and organize systems, which can help with that too. But really think about those weaknesses, think of ways to overcome them, and next week we'll talk about opportunities. Again, I'm Sean Hetrick, SBS Consulting Systems.
Thank you, Sean. Derek, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's good to see y'all.
Good seeing you.
We're very excited to learn more about you and Junkluggers. I guess first question is, what area do you service?
So the Junkluggers of Akron and Canton, Ohio, service all of Stark and all of Summit.
It's a pretty good area.
It's a good area. Yeah. It has a lot to cover. We maximize our efficiencies to be able to get it as fast and quick as possible for our customers.
Excellent. What's the best way to people to reach out to you?
1-800-LUG-JUNK. Some people in the area have my cell phone. 100% my preference is they call the appointment center. The appointment center is based out of Connecticut, the Hartford area. Everybody's very well trained, very friendly, quick turnaround time. You're usually on the phone less than 30 seconds waiting for them to talk to you.
Excellent.
And what's some of the reasons customers call out to you? Why do they call? What services all do you provide?
Yeah, so anybody can lug their own junk, right? Everybody knows somebody with a pickup truck or can find a dumpster, anything like that. Where we provide value is in time savings. It's the most valuable commodity you have, right? Why waste a morning or an afternoon moving that piano or downsizing?
Or putting it off.
Yeah.
I tell my wife, I'll do it tomorrow, and then I keep saying that 65 times.
Yeah, for sure. So it's super easy to give us a call. We arrive same day or next day, depending on the customer's preference and, the scope of the job. If it's a hoarder clean out, give me a little bit of notice. Okay. But again, we're saving you time. We're saving you making those phone calls to your uncle with the pickup truck saying, hey, can you help get rid of this couch, right? Just give the Junkluggers a call.
Nice. So, what's the process? Someone calls in the 800 number. What do they tell them? What do I need to tell them? I just need to get rid of a refrigerator. I got a bunch of stuff to get rid of. Do you tell them the availability? What's the process?
Yeah. So generally the customers will call. The appointment center will go over our price list. Mm-hmm. They'll tell them the things that we can and cannot get rid of. We can't take oils or in-laws. Okay. No bodies, nothing like that. All right. And then they find a time that works best for the customer. Okay. Our preference is where we can show up, team of 2 luggers, and then they take a look at all of the items that need to be removed. Okay, it could be a single item. It could be a room full of items. It could be a household worth of items. And we give them the price. My team is very well trained. Something we put a lot of effort into is making sure they know how to go through the process, how to be friendly. Okay. Once they take a look at everything, they give the price. Customer agrees to it. We can get rid of the stuff right then and there.
Nice.
Okay. It's very fast. We had a customer yesterday, 3 trucks, 48 yards worth of materials, 2.5 hours. Nice. 2.5 hours was done. Team of 4, 2 of our trucks. And then once we do all of that, our work isn't done. Okay. Junkluggers is eco-friendly. So we do our best to recycle and donate everything we possibly can. Our motto is donate first, recycle second. If it's donatable and it's in good condition, we'll make sure it finds a new home. And as far as recycling, we recycle as much as possible too.
Nice. I'm sure that takes a little bit of finesse with the way you're organize things in the dumpster and planning ahead on what you're going to recycle and everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The guys are really good at it. They're much better at it than I am at this point. Yeah. So as they're loading, as they're loading up the truck, as they're bringing things into there, they're stacking it in certain ways, electronics, papers, donatable furniture. And then we'll come back to our warehouse space, which is off of 62 and Middle Branch. And then they'll separate it out even further. Make sure, we're fulfilling our promise.
Yeah, that's nice.
I love that eco-friendly stuff too, because you can easily just take it to the dump and throw it in there and it just clogs up the landfill. And you guys taking that extra time really makes a huge difference.
Yeah. We tell our customers we do that, and it's fulfilling the promise. There's a lot of labor that goes into that, and it would be cheaper to even pay that extra cost to get rid of that stuff. The added weight, the added volume, as opposed to paying extra manpower, man hours, fuel. But we want to deliver on our promise, whether or not anybody's seeing.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, as a business owner, what's the some of the biggest challenges you faced in getting started, and how'd you overcome them?
Yeah. So you're only as good as the people you hire.
Very true.
I bought Junkluggers, and junk removal as a whole is made to scale. The more I scale, the more trucks I add, the more profitable Derek Watkins becomes, right? That's why I'm doing this.
Right.
And the biggest obstacle in that is hiring. You hear everybody talk about it. Can't find anybody wanting to work. Can't find this. Nobody wants to work. Nobody's good enough to work. And it's a long process. It's very hard. The very first time I hired, brand new, getting ready to hire some guys, I had about 12 interviews set up. One person showed up. And
I feel your pain. I feel your pain.
Yes.
Years of management, I'm like PTSD now.
I know. And it was super hard. I'm saying, come work for me. I've never owned a business before. This is junk removal. I'm like, well, what's that? So Bob can do junk removal. Well, not the way we can do junk removal. And the biggest part for me to sell that is to sell them on the dream, right? Sell them on my dream. Hey, guys, I want to be at 10 trucks one day, okay? And I want you to be a part of that. All right. I want to give you a place where you could grow. You can be a high school graduate. One guy, he's my age, and he's jumped around from different job to job. I want somewhere for you to grow, and I want you to grow with me. My team's super important to me. I put a lot of effort into their training. For my company, Junkluggers as a whole, they say we're not a junk removal company. We're a service company, a customer service company. For me, I'm an employee-first company. That's what I'm doing.
Awesome.
Is I want somewhere for people to pursue their happiness, right? I want to give them the tools. I want them to be the best versions of themselves. And if I'm able to provide a healthy work environment, let them have their independence during the day and, pay them well, right? It comes down to that too. Then I'm going to grow. The company's going to grow. And they'll take care of the customers and represent themselves well.
Absolutely.
That's so true. Yeah, it really is true. Really making that environment in your company is what'll make you grow for sure.
Yeah. I always ask myself, what would a young Derek would have wanted? What would I have wanted? And it's just to be left alone, to do my job and to do it well. And sometimes as an owner, you want to hover.
Yeah.
Right? You want to hover a little bit of, this is my baby. This is my baby. But if you treat it as our baby, this is where we're going to grow together, it rubs off on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've grown some the past year, haven't you? Added trucks, added employees.
Yeah. We're at 4 full-time employees, and we've added our second truck. It's a hook lift system with some extra containers. We can handle a lot of capacity now. We can really churn and burn.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's exciting. Growth is exciting.
It is. It's exciting. It's also hard.
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of the systems you had in place are all of a sudden being tested. And what worked with one truck and 2 guys doesn't necessarily work at double the capacity. It was harder for me to scale than it was for me to open.
Okay.
Personally. Because all of a sudden I'm like, okay,
You gotta trust more your employees, right?
got to trust my employees more. My marketing budget increased.
Yeah. It's always scary.
Yeah. Everything increased. So not only did I double my capacity, I doubled a lot of my expenses too.
Right.
And going from 1 to 2, that's big. It could be big.
Yeah.
But so far it's going well. It was a leap. I started a little bit earlier in the year to invest in training and invest in what I thought would be a long process of hiring. It was actually went much quicker this time now that we were a year in. We had more of a reputation, people wanting to come and work for us. So yeah.
Looking for a third truck next year? What's your ambition?
Good question. I'd like to be at 4 trucks by this time next year,
Nice.
but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Got to find the right people.
Got to find the right people. Yep.
Got to get the right systems in place. Yeah. I'm sure Sean can help you,
There you go.
incorporate some systems and, get some things streamlined maybe. So what, I always like to ask business owners, what motivates you during tough times? When it gets some time to the grind and things aren't going the best, what keeps you going?
What I found is to surround myself with good people, right? The number one answer is my family. I got some young kids. I've got a wonderful supporting wife. That's the go-to answer, right? Everybody says my family, God, my family. Very good answers. For me, lately, it's been surrounding myself with good people that can give me good advice. At one of our tip clubs, I was talking to Shannon, and I got there early. I was like, Shannon, I'm struggling a little bit, And he used a phrase, "You're blessed to be stressed," right? And it's those positive people that have gone through some challenging times that you can talk to that understand it. People that you know and you trust.
That's one great thing about the chamber is you do get that exposure with a lot of people that have had businesses that have gone through it, like you just said, went through those same kind of struggles and kind of help guide you as you go through.
Yeah.
So,
It's very important, and it's inspiring too, seeing that people have done the same thing. They're successful.
Yeah.
They're continuing to be successful.
Yeah, we all struggle with some of the same things, and some people find solutions before you and share them. That's always great.
Yeah.
So as members of the Canton Regional Chamber, we're always looking to promote each other, support each other, do business with one another. Do you have any chamber members that you'd like to give a shout out to that's helped you in the past?
Yeah, for sure. Sean. Sean.
Thank
So
you.
Sean and I we run across each other often in a lot of our networking circles. And it's one of those surrounding yourself with people that are positive. And I see Sean, I'm like, yeah, brother, good to see you.
Every time. Yeah.
And it picks you up. And you're another one of those positive influences in my life.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Derek, thank you so much for joining us for our second episode of the Canton Chamber Podcast. We really enjoyed having you on.
All right. Thanks for having me. It was great.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, next, I'd just like to do a shout out to the Canton Regional Chamber. We all appreciate all the member benefits you guys provide for us, whether it's social events, networking opportunities, discounts on workers' comp or health insurance that you help negotiate through different programs, and many more, many more benefits you provide for us. So from all of us, thanks to all the staff and all the volunteers that make it happen. We really appreciate it. Up next is going to be what's the next chamber event? We're going to have the Quick Connect Luncheon on June 21st. So it's 11:30 a.m. at La Pizzeria. And it's always great to get there a half hour or so before, kind of mingle, get out of your comfort zone, walk to other tables and introduce yourself. That's kind of what we're all here for. And I find myself crowding in a corner sometimes because I'm nervous, but it just depends how I feel that day. But great way to just, mingle and get to know other people and find solutions to problems that you'll have in the future. It's always great.
One other thing about that is that, if you bring a $15 door prize, you can actually give a short commercial for yourself in front of everyone. And like I said, on the last podcast, there's 40 to 60 people there, which is kind of a good way to get your name out there a little bit more. So
yeah, get that name recognition, right?
Yeah.
Keep people thinking of you. Well, that wraps up episode number 2. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
see you.
Bye, everybody.